The Philadelphia Eagles dominate the New Orleans Saints today in a 40-29 victory. At home, the Eagles' first win of the season at Lincoln Financial Field. And let me just say, right now, I think it's easy to say, the Eagles probably have the best rushing attack in the NFL. Period. End of discussion. The fact they were able to manhandle the Saints' defensive line and run it right down their throat for most of this game against what many say is the best run defense in football. And the Eagles didn't care, and they ran it straight down their throats and completely dominated them on that side of the football. Yes, it's a 40-29 victory, but let's not kid ourselves. There were a lot of iffy moments in this game, especially when the Eagles were up 33-7, and then the Saints go ahead and score 15 unanswered. But here's the fact of the matter is, the Eagles get a big win at home, and now they go ahead and set themselves up for a huge division matchup against the New York Giants in the New Meadowlands. But let's talk about this game. So, first quarter comes out. The Eagles do little things on offense to start off. Not bad, not great. And then the Saints get the ball, and boom, turnover right off the start of the game. T.J. Edwards gets a pick deep in Saints territory, and the Eagles go ahead and Jalen Hurts runs in for a touchdown. The Eagles go up 7-0. Next thing you know, 3-and-out again for the Saints. Eagles score another touchdown, 14-0. The Eagles were able to jump upon the Saints, who were down, if I remember correctly, 3 offensive linemen, 2 of which were tackles, no Alvin Kamara, injuries all over that offense, and the Eagles took advantage of them. The Eagles defense, who's been very porous through most of this season, and even during this game, they didn't play that great of a game, especially in the second half. But they were able to allow the offense to get up early and do what they had to do. I mean, Trevor Siemian, after barely in the first quarter being down 14-0, that's not a situation you want your third-string quarterback in. It's not even a situation you want your backup quarterback in, let alone your third-string quarterback. Especially being down all their offensive linemen and their starting running back in Calvin Kamara. But, hey, the Eagles just did what they were supposed to do today. Simple as that. Goddard had another big game. Devontae Smith, not a huge game from Devontae Smith, but he sprinkled in his catches here and there, and he made big plays when was required. And Jalen Hurts just made play after play in this game. Hats off to Jalen Hurts today. Yeah, the passing yards aren't gaudy. The completion percentage doesn't look great. But there are quite a few drops there. There are quite a few miscues there. The Eagles made their mistakes in this game, even though they scored 40. The Eagles made their mistakes in this game. And a lot of my criticisms for them in this game have to go with the second half. Simply as that. The first half, they played pretty well for the most part. You know, besides Miles Sanders damn near trying to fumble the game away, the Eagles played pretty well for the most part. When the second half started, the Eagles just played too conservative. They went ahead, they got into a shell, and they just decided, we're just going to try and run the game out. You can't do that in the NFL. In that first drive coming out, after being up by the amount you are, you got to attack. You got to continue to attack. Jalen was in a rhythm. Let him continue to throw the football. Let him continue to make plays. I feel like if they would have done that, I think the Eagles could have put up 50 today. But, hey, you can't fault a win. Win is a win. You can't fault that in the end. They were able to get the job done. And when it came down to it, after the Saints scored 15 unanswered, the Eagles go ahead. They were able to convert a key play to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, of all people. I would have never expected him to get a play called towards going his way and then him making a 20-yard play. I never saw that coming. I don't think the Saints would have either. But they make a big play there. They run it down, and then Jalen Hurts makes one of the sickest jukes in the red zone and runs it in for a 20-yard touchdown, which seals the game at that point. You know, when Jalen Hurts needed to make a play, he made a play. He did what was required of him. And yeah, he had 3 rushing touchdowns at the quarterback position. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think that's ever happened to the Eagles ever. And this is a franchise who had guys like Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb, and Michael Vick. And we've never had a quarterback run for more than 3 touchdowns in a single game. Until Jalen Hurts did it today. So, simple as that, he did what he needed to do. Yes, like I said before, passing yards aren't gaudy. They're not. I mean, I think he barely threw 150 yards today. He had no passing touchdowns. He had no interceptions either. That's good. You know, the no interception part, I would have loved to see a passing touchdown. Arguably, he probably should have had one, but hey, he scored 3 times himself. I can't complain about that. And I think he's really showing that he deserves to be the franchise guy right now. With the way he's playing, with the way the Eagles are running this offense, he is showing that there's potential with him as a quarterback. He's getting more and more comfortable. He's trusting his reads. He's making the throws. And yeah, there were some throws that Goddard dropped that Jalen put it right where it needed to be. And Goddard should have made a play on it, and he didn't. There were missed opportunities there, and they weren't on Jalen. I can't put too much fault with Jalen in this game. I put more fault in the play calling, honestly. Because in that third quarter, you got so conservative that you kind of took Jalen and the offense out of the game a little bit. Nick Sirianni, he's a young coach. I think he's going to learn and get better from it. He's kind of shown us that. But you got to let your offense continue rolling. You can't shut them down like that. You know, there are some of these plays where I thought, okay, you're doing a bootleg option. Okay, let Jalen roll out and make a throw, and it was just a QB option run. You can't do that. You got to let Jalen throw the football. There was opportunities for him to make plays downfield, and we really didn't let him do it. And I guess that is one of my concerns in this game, along with the fact of Jordan Howard, but I'll get into the running backs here in a minute. That's kind of one of my concerns. You can't get conservative in the NFL. You just can't do it. If you play afraid, you're going to lose. And I felt like there was a point in this game where the Eagles are playing scared. And you can't do that. You cannot play scared in the NFL. If you do that, you will lose every single time. Let me talk about the running backs here for a bit, because there were some issues, needless to say. There was a point in this game where Miles Sanders deserved to be benched. Simple as that. When you fumble it twice, deep in your own territory, that's unacceptable. That's inexcusable. I get it. You're off for 3 weeks. You're trying to get back in the rhythm of the game. I understand that. And besides those fumbles, he looked pretty good for the most part. But you got to hold on to the football, especially inside your own 10. The fact you fumbled it once, hey, Russ, okay, whatever. But he did it again. He did it twice in the same game, in the same situation. You cannot do that in the NFL. You just can't. And it's unacceptable. The fact that he lucked out and it wasn't called a fumble is a blessing. Because that should have been a fumble. They're lucky they called forward progress. They are lucky they called it forward progress. Because that should have been a turnover, and that could have flipped the game in New Orleans' favor. That really could have. So they're very fortunate about that. And after the second one, you notice, he got benched. Miles Sanders got benched because he was fumbling the football. Boston Scott got more carries, and he got going. Jordan Howard couldn't be freaking stopped at a point. He was gaining 10 yards a carry at a point. Jordan Howard is by far the most important piece to this offense. And heaven forbid, I hope he doesn't have a serious injury. Because I didn't see him after that. He fell on his neck after that one play. I didn't see him again. So I'm really hoping that it's nothing serious. Because if we don't have Jordan Howard for an extended period of time, you saw what happened in the third quarter. The offense shrunk. The offense was in trouble. The offense didn't know what they were doing. It was very reminiscent of when Miles Sanders first got hurt in the Vegas game, where the offense was confused. They didn't know what didn't know what to do. It looks very similar to that. So that is very concerning to me in that aspect of it. But hopefully, knock on wood, it's nothing serious. But at this point in time, I'm not sure if it is or not. I'm hoping it's not, but we'll wait and see. Time will tell. So let me also talk about the defense. The first half, the defense was able to get pressure, and they were able to confuse Trevor Siemian, which is exactly what they needed to do. They forced 3 turnovers in this game, one of which being a pick 6 by Darius Slay, which, moments like this, you're thankful to have a guy like Darius Slay. In the past 4 games, he's had 3 defensive touchdowns. Whenever he gets his hand on the football, Darius Slay seems to make a play. He just seems to. If he gets his hand on the football, he scores. That's what he's been doing, and he's done a great job, and he's been helping the defense out. The Eagles have made teams pay when they've turned the ball over, and that's something that's really helped them on this little bit of a winning streak they got going on right now. They just won their second consecutive game, 3 out of their last 4. That's a credit because the defense is getting turnovers, and that's key. Yeah, they gave up 29 points today to Trevor Siemian. Yeah, I get it. A lot of it came in the third and fourth quarter when the Eagles had an insurmountable lead. But the fact of the matter is the defense did their job. My concern, you have 2 tackles that are out, and you didn't get a single sack. Yeah, you got pressure on Siemian, but you didn't record a single sack. I mean, you can't do that. You simply can't do that as a defense in the NFL. How do you have guys like Ryan Kerrigan, Josh Sweat, Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, Derek Barnett, and none of them recorded a sack? None of them recorded a sack. You can't do that. You got to get pressure in the NFL. You got to be able to sack the quarterback. The fact that Trevor Siemian ran for a 20-yard touchdown is completely inexcusable because every time he ran, an Eagles defender was just grasping air. They couldn't catch him when they needed to. And that is something frustrating watching on the defensive side of the ball. You're getting pressure, you have to finish, and they're not finishing on defense. The Eagles could have prevented a lot more big plays and could have actually maybe allowed fewer points had they would have actually wrapped up and held on to Trevor Siemian instead of letting him escape the pocket. It's not good discipline. They got to do better on that. Though I will say, they brought some blitzes, it confused Siemian, and it forced him in some bad decisions. And honestly, maybe the Eagles could have had a few more picks in this game. They could have had 5 turnovers if they would have been able to make a play on the ball, but they didn't. The fact of the matter is, the Eagles win today. They get their first home victory, and now we get the big game a lot of Eagles and Giants fans have been waiting for. Eagles-Giants in the Meadowlands. In a sense, you could argue the Devontae Smith Bowl. Or you could say the revenge game for the Eagles losing on purpose last year against the Redskins, kicking the Giants out of the playoffs. This is going to be a fun game. Let me say this. Eagles and Giants are the best rivalry in the NFL. Simply that. You throw the records out, they don't matter. One of them could be 13-3, the other could be 3-13, and the game goes down to the fourth quarter with one team kicking a last-second field goal to win it. These are the best games in the NFL, period. When the Eagles and Giants play, it's a no-holds-barred brawl where anything can happen. I'm looking forward to this game. I can't wait to talk about it. And you know what? It's going to be a fun week for Eagles-Giants. So with that, thank you all for listening to the Process YouTube channel. If you like what I got to say, please hit the like button. If you got anything to say in the comments, please say in the comment section below. And with that, hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.